ladies and gentlemen, from Irvine, California in the United States, MDRT immediate past president and 41-year MDRT member with 33 top-of-the-table qualifications. Please welcome Guy Baker.
Ultimately, the moment of truth comes in a presentation. Ultimately, we have to talk about the product, life insurance. Learning at MDRT is why we are here. And I'd like to share with you something I figured out at MDRT. It's the best sales idea that I've ever had, and I hope it will benefit you as much as it's benefited me. This single idea has kept me at the top of the table for 33 years now. And it's an idea that I continue to use today. Why? Because it works. This idea speaks to the prospect's insecurity and their fear about buying permanent life insurance. And with it, I demonstrate the power and the benefit of permanent life insurance and why term insurance is temporary. Now, don't get me wrong. Term is a great product. Sell all of it that you can. But term cannot get the client to the finish line. Only permanent life insurance guarantees you will deliver the promises that you make to your clients. Permanent life insurance guarantees the money will be there when they aren't. So here's the idea. Just before you pull out the illustration, as you're ready to present how much insurance they need and how it's going to work, ask this question. Joe, do you know how life insurance works? They usually will say no. Well, would you mind then if we just took a moment and let me explain it to you? And so then I'll pull out a piece of paper and I'll start writing. And I'll say, let's assume, for instance, for a minute, that we have 1,000 45-year-old males. And we know in the first year, one will die. We don't know who, but we know how many. This is a mathematical fact. In the 5th year, it might be 5. In the 20th year, it might be 15. We do this until we can account for the entire 1,000. And let's say that each one wants $1 million worth of insurance. How much would each insured have to put into the pool so that they would have enough to pay the claim at death? Let's say it's $950. And maybe at age 50, it'll go up to $4,700. And at age 65, maybe it's going to be $19,000. And if we plot these costs, we have what we call a mortality curve. So then we ask, how much did the insurance cost? And the answer is simple. It's the sum of whatever premiums were paid over the time of the policy. Now, if you died in the first year, your cost was only $950. But if you died in the 20th year, that sum could have been $50,000. So what did it cost you at death? Well, tell me when you're going to die, and I'll tell you how much it's going to cost. The only logical place to measure the true cost of life insurance is at life expectancy. That's when 50% of the group is dead and 50% of the group is alive. And the cost is 74% of the face amount. This, again, is a mathematical fact. Now, if we go to the place where 2/3 of the group are dead, the cost will go up to 119% of the face amount. And at the place where 95% of the group is dead, the cost will be an astronomical 2.5 times the face amount, 240%. Who could afford to own life insurance when they're 90 years old? See, the true cost of life insurance is the sum of the mortality cost of death. And why is this? It's because life insurance is a mathematical science. Now let's assume that you were at your life insurance life expectancy birthday, and you got a premium notice for $150,000, Joe. Would you pay that? He'll say, heck no. But if you just got a call from your oncologist who said that you had less than 6 months to live, now would you pay it? And they always say, of course. This choice is called adverse selection, and it caused all of the insurance companies in the United States to either reorganize or go bankrupt in the mid-1800s. This is a historical fact. So the companies went to the actuaries and they said, what can we do to solve the problem? So they put on their eye shades, they got out their abacuses, they went into some dark room and began to think. And when they emerged, they said, we've got it, we've got it, we've got the solution. And they came out with the box. So here's how it works. If you put this much money in the box, it's going to pay that mortality curve. And the earnings in the box will be sufficient to pay the curve over your entire life. But if you fail to put enough money into the box, your policy is going to run out of money, and you will have to start paying the curve to retain it. So you have a choice, Joe. You can either pay the curve or you can fill the box. But that's not the whole story. The whole story is that interest rates go up and interest rates go down. What happens if interest rates go up? Well, if interest rates go up, then there'll be more than enough money in the box to pay the curve, and you can actually reduce the amount of contribution. But if interest rates go down, then you'll have to increase your contributions in order to be able to keep enough money in the box. Remember, the box has to pay the curve. So if you want life insurance over your whole life, you need to fill the box. It's that simple. You either pay the curve or you fill the box. Joe, which makes the most sense to you? And it's at that point that I'll pull out the illustration and show them the cost of funding the box. This idea has proven to me over and over again that a knowledgeable buyer is a better buyer. If your client understands the box, your client, your prospect, will never want term insurance. Now, term insurance may be all they can afford, but they will want permanent life insurance. One of the most important lessons that I've learned as an agent, attending MDRT meetings, one of the secrets that I've learned is that people do what they want to do when they want to do it. People buy what they believe will help them achieve their objectives. You see, they're writing their legacy one day at a time. Some are writing their legacy by design, and some are writing their legacy by default. Who wouldn't want their legacy to last forever? You see, I've learned term insurance, by definition, terminates. Just look at the statistics. Less than 1% of all term policies ever result in a death claim. But permanent insurance fulfills legacies. It will always create money for those you love. And isn't that what we do? We create money. We create money where money never would have existed. We, you and I, we're the only ones who have the answer. We're the only ones who have any real answers when someone dies. I mean, think about it. When someone dies, the attorney brings in the legal documents. They bring in the documents to make sure that the assets pass to the right beneficiaries. documents to avoid family conflict and to avoid legal strife. But attorneys don't bring in money, do they? They only bring in paper. And when the CPA walks in, they bring in financial statements. They bring in the final tax return. They bring in an accounting of the family's income, their assets, their liabilities. But CPAs don't bring in money either. They only bring in paper. The banker, the trust officer, the investment advisor, when they walk in, they bring in reams of paper. They bring in statements. They bring in reports showing what's left, how much money's in the various accounts. But they don't bring any new money. They only bring in paper. My friends, we're the only ones that bring in money. We bring in new money. They bring in history. We bring in hope. They bring in reports. We bring in cash. They bring in statements. We bring capital. And we bring the chance for a new beginning. The other professionals tell the family what was lost, and we restore it. They bring the bills, and we pay them. When we walk through that door, families can stay in their own world and continue to live a life of dignity and value. We're just ordinary people bringing extraordinary results. Without us, families have no choice but to liquidate assets to get cash. And when they do, they usually get pennies on the dollar. But for pennies, we can replace the human life value. And we do it by creating capital that never would have existed were it not for the fabulous, incredible miracle of life insurance. With planning, this capital will be invested for generations to come. We really do extraordinary things. God bless you all. Keep coming back.